Hey guys, Joey here. Quick little announcement before we begin this video. I have started my own podcast channel. It's called Trash Taste. It's run by myself and my good friends Giguk and CDogVA, and it's essentially a podcast where we come together in a room and talk about our trash taste on stuff like anime, hentai, YouTube, literally anything we want. If you need a little convincing, here's a clip from our first episode.
I am genuinely one of those people who looks at hentai as art.
So if you're interested in a cool, fun, chill podcast, then make sure to go check out the links in the description below and definitely subscribe. Check out the video. It's going to help us a lot. And if you've already subscribed to the main channel and the highlights channel where we upload clips, then thank you very much. We've been working on this for a really long time, and we're glad that so far you guys have really enjoyed the first episode. So there's definitely a lot more to come. But again, guys, go check out the channel down in the description below, and I hope you enjoy the video. Peace.
Yeah.
How's it going, everyone? This is the Anime Man, and welcome back to another episode of What Will I Be Watching? The show where I go over the upcoming season of animes and give you my first impressions and general and overall thoughts on the upcoming season and the shows that I will be watching, the shows that I won't be watching, and the shows that I might not possibly watch, probably won't. Yeah. You guys should know how this works by now. I do it every season. I think we all enjoy the series because we get a quick little glimpse into what we are expecting out of the anime world next season. And as with this episode, we're going to be looking over the summer 2020 anime season. That's right, we are already approaching the second half of the anime year. Now, a lot has happened. If you guys are watching this as I upload this, then you probably know what the fuck is up. But for those of you who are watching this in the near future, basically what is happening right now is there is a certain virus which shall go unnamed due to the YouTube gods not being okay with YouTubers saying it for some reason. And because of this, the current trend right now, or I guess the current direction in the anime industry, is panic. And therefore, a lot of anime that was supposed to come out last season, aka the spring 2020 anime season, has been delayed. And there are a few anime series that have been delayed to this summer 2020 anime, but there are some that have literally been delayed for seasons, even a couple of years down the road. So keep that in mind as I go over some of these series, because a couple of these series which were supposed to come out in the spring 2020 anime season, I may have already covered and given my first impressions on. So if you'd like to check those out and you're like, why didn't you talk about this particular season? You should talk about it. Then I probably talked about it in my spring 2020 What Will I Be Watching. So I'll leave the link to that down in the description below, or boom, there it is up on the screen right now. But you guys should know how this works by now. I'm just going to go over, read the synopsis, give you my overall thoughts, and yeah, see what good stuff is going to come out. Without further ado, let's get going. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to be pretty much skipping through the first 5 or 6 series, including ReZero, Sword Art Online Alicization Part 2, Yahari Ore no Seishin Nabuko wa Machigatteiru, 3rd and final season, Danmachi Season 3, and the Shobotai Season 2, because a lot of these were announced for the previous season, and a lot of these shows I've given my overall thoughts on. But I mean, these 5 series at least, everybody knows what the fuck is up with those 5 series, okay? Concerning ReZero and Sword Art Online and Danmachi, I mean, I don't think there's a single person watching this video who doesn't know what those shows are about, and if that's the case, then I advise you to go and look up reviews of each individual series yourselves, because there are literally thousands of videos covering these series, including my own. In terms of Yahari Ore no Seishin Nabuko wa Machigatteiru Kan, I talked about that in the previous spring 2020. And Eian no Shobotai Season 2, I mean, what can I say about that series at this point? I mean, I'm sure I've said this in past live streams and whatnot over on my Twitch, but I just find Eian no Shobotai to be just the absolute king of mediocrity. I'm not saying that Eian no Shobotai is necessarily bad, but much like how I later felt about Soul Eater, which is also done by the same guy as Eian no Shobotai, it is just like incredibly average, which kind of sucks, I guess, especially in the case with Eian no Shobotai, because it's done by David Production, and if you guys know, David Production have been absolutely killing it when it comes to animation quality and especially sound quality. I know a lot of people don't really care about sound design in anime, but at least for someone like me who does enjoy sound design and who is a little bit of a music nerd, sound nerd, that kind of stuff, David Production just does so goddamn well in their sound design. And Eian no Shobotai Season 1 had amazing animation, and it had amazing sound design, and even the character designs were freaking great, but everything else, just the overall feeling of it as a shonen series was just so so mid. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be watching this second season because I barely got through the first season, and considering that we have 24 full episodes in this season 2, yeah, I'll leave it to you, Soul Eater and the Short type fans, because I'm sure you guys are just frothing at the mouth right now. Me personally, I think I'm gonna skip over this one. Alright, but now let's talk about a series I definitely won't be skipping over, and that is The God of High School. Now, there is, apparently 2020 is just the year that manhwa, aka Korean manga, is just exploding onto the anime scene, and thank God, because there is so much goddamn manhwa that is yet to see an anime adaptation. And I feel currently with the success of Tower of God, that is just absolutely killing it right now in terms of success and quality, even though I personally have heard a lot of mixed reviews about it, especially compared to the original manhwa. I actually don't think that the anime is too bad, but suffice it to say, Tower of God isn't exactly my favorite manhwa out there. But The God of High School, on the other hand, yo, this manhwa fucking slaps. And it's gonna be done by Mappa Studios, who, you know what, I'm not upset at whatsoever, because Mappa is kind of a safe spot when it comes to animation quality. You can pretty much guarantee that you're gonna get some pretty goddamn good animation when it comes to Mappa Studios. It's definitely a safe route to take. But for those of you who don't know, let's read the synopsis. It all began as a fighting tournament to seek out for the best fighter among all high school students in Korea. Mori Jin, a taekwondo specialist and a high school student, soon learns that there is something much greater beneath the stage of the tournament. Yeah, it's basically just like Korean Street Fighter. I mean, you can't get any better than that. Think of Tenjo Tenge, but it actually is good. So for all you martial arts fans, and I am especially one of those because one of the manga series that I am just absolutely obsessed with recently is the Bouquet series. I'm slowly making my way through that series, and it is so goddamn good. And we also saw the pretty good success of the Kengan Ashura anime as well that was recently on Netflix. I mean, I enjoyed the fuck out of the Kengan Ashura anime, but then again, I do love these like testosterone-filled like fighting series, except if it's Tenjo Tenge. That could have been so much better. But yeah, I'm personally really looking forward to The God of High School. I mean, I really enjoyed the manhwa. I mean, the little manhwa that I did read, I didn't read a lot of The God of High School because there's just a lot of manhwa that I needed to start reading. Noblesse was another one. Bastard was also another one. And obviously, you know, Killing Stalking was also another one. But yeah, in terms of God of High School, the little that I did read was pretty good. There's a lot of huge hype behind this because, like Tower of God, all the manhwa fans are just frothing at the mouth being like, oh god, finally. So I'm excited to see what Mappa can do with this particular manhwa. Alright, up next is Kanojo Okarishimasu. I've never heard of this. Actually, I have heard of at least the title, but I don't know anything about this particular series. I mean, it's going to be done by TMS, who are okay in terms of a studio, based off a manga. And I mean, like, you know, the girls are kind of cute, I guess? But let's read the synopsis, because I have no idea what the fuck this is. In Japan, the lonely have a new way out. Online services that rent out dads, children, even girlfriends. That's hilarious because that is an actual service that really does exist in Japan. In fact, I did a video where I rented out a Japanese mom for 24 hours. If you guys want to check that out, then go ahead. When Kazuya's true love dumps him, he's just desperate enough to try it, and he's shocked at how cute and sweet his rental girlfriend turns out to be. But she wants to keep their relationship, quote unquote, a secret, and there's a complication. She goes to his university, and their grandmothers are in the same home, and they live next door to each other. And Kazuya finds out she's not nearly as nice in real life. That just sounds like real life in a nutshell. No, you know what, I lied. That's kind of what real life is in a nutshell from the fantasies of an otaku who has never left their house for like 15 years. Either way, the concept seems pretty interesting. I don't know if there's a manga or even an anime series that has really covered the whole rental service aspect of Japan, because that subculture, I experienced firsthand, that shit is awkward and weird as fuck. But weirdly enough, it's kind of fun as well. Alright, up next is Monster Musume no Oisha-san. When I looked at that title, not gonna lie, I thought it was a spin-off of Monster Musume no Iru Nichijo, because Mon Musu has just like been so ingrained in our minds because it was such a shocking revelation when it first came out, especially in the anime world, that like whenever you see the words Monster Musume, you just immediately think it's going to be connected to Mon Musu in somehow. So I guess this is also another Mon Musu, but it turns out, or it looks like it's going to be in an isekai. Oh god. Let's read the synopsis. In the town of Lindworm, where monsters and humans coexist, Dr. Glenn runs an exemplary medical clinic for monster girls with his Lamia assistant Safi. Oh my god. This person also has a Lamia as best girl. Whether receiving a marriage proposal by a centaur injured in battle, palpitating the injury of a mermaid, or suturing the delicate wounds of a flesh golem. Do I want to know what a flesh golem is as opposed to just a regular golem? I guess a regular golem is made out of rocks, so a flesh golem is just a big person. Why couldn't they just call him a giant? Dr. Glenn performs his job with grace and confidence, but when an unsavory character seeks to steal a harpy egg, how will the unflappable Dr. Glenn respond? I see what you did there with that double entendre of unflappable and a harpy. I see you, Seven Seas Entertainment, with that clever synopsis. Okay, let's break this down for a second, okay? Not to compare this shit to Monster Musume, because I'm sure we're gonna see a million of those kinds of jokes all over around in Twitter when this shit goes live, but I mean, can we just talk about the absolute similarities between monster girls? Because, you know, if you actually like look into the entire category of monster girls that could exist in these types of anime, there are a lot. There are a lot of different kinds of monster girls that could appear, right? And yet, this manga, or I guess no, this can't be the same as Monster Musume, because Monster Musume is based off a manga. This is based off a light novel, as you can see. So this is completely different. This is just a dude possibly trying to rip off of Monster Musume no Irichijo, I hope not. But concerning the types of monster girls that this light novel adaptation is going to have, a Lamia, a centaur, a mermaid, okay, flesh golem is different, and then a harpy? Yeah, I'm just trying to think, Monster Musume also had a Lamia, and a centaur, and a mermaid, and a harpy. God, I'm not looking forward to this. I mean, listen, I enjoyed Monster Musume no Nichijo, but goddamn, dude, just, this just sounds like Monster Musume no Iru Nichijo crossed with an isekai. So yeah, I'm gonna check this out, because it could be completely different. Who knows? Maybe it's just, maybe the characters and the synopsis, and you know, maybe they'll take it more into the medical side of things. Who knows? Because Monster Musume no Nichijo didn't quite do that. This one might. I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Okay, up next is Peter Grill to Kenja no Jikan. First of all, not gonna lie, when I saw Peter Grill, I thought it said Peter Griffin. That would have been amazing. But it is a comedy, ecchi, fantasy, harem, romance seinen. Okay, so clearly an ecchi isekai from the looks of it. I don't know though. It might not be an isekai. It might just be an actual fantasy world. Who knows? You know, with Monster Musume no, what the fuck was it called? Oisha-san? That could also just be a fantasy. Who knows? But goddamn, you know, the 2000s, the 2010s are just the decade of the isekai. Okay, it's done by Wolfsbane Studios. Never fucking heard of that studio, but let's read the synopsis. The story centers on the titular protagonist, the adventurer Peter Grill, the strongest man in the world. While he has a girlfriend named Luvilia, who he's sworn to spend the rest of his life with, Luvilia still believes that babies are delivered by storks, and in the 2 years since their relationship began, Peter and Luvilia has not progressed beyond holding hands. I'm sure every otaku can relate to that. In the meantime, various other women, such as 2 ogre twins and an elf, all want him so that they can bear strong children. Peter has to avoid all manner of temptation and plots, all while feeling guilty towards Luvilia. Okay, now, if that doesn't sound like the plot to like an NTR hentai, I don't know what it is, man. Like, this legitimately sounds like every NTR, like, isekai hentai that I've ever seen. But I must say that this Luvilia girl, I'm assuming this is Luvilia in the front here, she's hot. I like it. I do love my Oni girls a lot. So, yeah, I'm gonna be quite... Or is it maybe this girl right here? This might be the twins. I don't know. If that's the case, then I'm rooting for the fucking ogre twins. But yeah, either way, this just seems like your absolutely trashy, ecchi fantasy series that people are probably gonna forget about halfway through the season. I might be wrong on that, of course, but I'm usually right when it comes to anime, okay? That's why you guys watch these videos. Let's move on. Alright, up next is Uzaki-chan wa asobitai. Okay, I've heard of this. Now, Uzaki-chan is this character that kind of gotten a little bit of a controversy recently about some kind of like blood donation service in Japan. I don't know the full details, obviously, you guys can look it up. I never bothered to do a video on it because I just thought it was kind of stupid. But basically, this character has been put under a lot of controversy recently. So, bold move on NG Studios to turn it into an anime, especially after the recent controversy. So, yeah, I don't know anything, though, about this series. I don't know anything about Uzaki-chan. I just know the character's name and what she looks like. But, what is interesting of genres, it is a comedy ecchi slice of life. So, are we gonna talk, like, are we talking, like, futari ecchi levels of ecchi slice of life, or like is it just gonna be like a ooh that's kind of, or are we talking more like a dagashikashi like ecchi slice of life, right? Because dagashikashi was definitely a lot more like comedy slice of life with ecchi kind of sprinkled on top, whereas futari ecchi is an ecchi slice of life with comedy sprinkled on top. So it could go either way very easily. But I don't know anything about this manga, so let's read the synopsis and find out. Sakurai Shinichi's one wish is for a little peace and quiet, but Uzaki Hana, his boisterous, well-endowed underclassman, has other plans. All she wants is to hang out and poke fun at him. With the help of her chipper charm and peppy persistence, this might just be the start of a beautiful relationship. Okay, hold the fuck on for a second here, because does that not sound like Ijiranai de Nagatoro-san? That straight up sounds like Ijiranai de Nagatoro-san, but instead of Nagatoro-san, who is like a lolly gyaru, we have Uzaki-chan, who is a pale, like, bon, like, big boobs, big butt, very curvaceous girl. But in terms of, like, the personality and the way that the quote-unquote story is going to go, it straight up sounds like Nagatoro-san. Which, I'm surprised that Nagatoro-san hasn't gotten an anime adaptation yet, considering it has outperformed Uzaki-chan tenfold in terms of sales and notoriety. Like, I'm sure more people know about Nagatoro-san than they do Uzaki-chan. At least I do. So, I'm surprised that they decided to adapt Uzaki-chan instead of Nagatoro-san. It might have to do with the fact that the original creator of Nagatoro-san, Nanashi, was originally like a hardcore lolly hentai artist. So that might be the case. I don't know. Maybe the author of Uzaki-chan was also a former hentai artist. Who the fuck knows? Either way, if this is anything like Ijiran de Nagatoro-san, then I think I'm gonna quite enjoy it. Because, you know, this does, and if you've never seen Ijiran de Nagatoro-san, this, I feel, is gonna be like the ecchi version of Karakai Jozu no Takagi-san, which also was very successful, but definitely a lot more on the wholesome comedy slice of life. I feel this is just going to be like an ecchi version of that, so if it is going to be anything like that, hey, I think I'm going to quite enjoy this. It's going to be a little bit of a no-brainer, but hey, there's nothing wrong with watching a no-brainer every now and then. Okay, let's fucking talk about this next one. Dokyu Hentai Exeros. I cannot fucking believe this is getting an adaptation. Like, who said okay to adapting this manga? Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I covered this manga, Exeros, in a monthly otaku collection, I think about 3 or 4 months back. I'll leave it, boom, on the screen right there, links in the description if you want to go check it out, if you want a full review of this manga. But let me just say that this shit is not safe for TV. It is absolutely not safe for TV. It is like straight up, I mean, the word is in the goddamn title. That should indicate to you this shit ain't for TV viewing. This shit is like fucking straight up, like when it says ecchi, it is some fucking hardcore ecchi, fam. And so I have absolutely no idea how the fuck they're going to adapt this into TV. And there's been a lot of series like that recently, haven't they? I mean, they just recently announced that they were going to turn Shumatsu no Harem into an anime adaptation. I mean, how? Did they not learn from, like, almost every TV station and every fucking streaming service overseas dropping Ishizuka reviewers? Like, how have we not learned that lesson? Because if you guys thought Ishizuka reviewers were sexual, y'all ain't ready for this. But anyway, let's check out the synopsis. In a world on the verge of a great disaster that began 5 years ago, heroes who, with the help of a device called Exeros, use the power of ecchi and erotic power to save the planet from libido-devouring monsters. Enjo Retto and Hoshino Kirara are childhood friends who have drifted apart from each other. One day, they're caught in a battle against a sensor bug that feeds on human sexual energy to evolve. After successfully taking down the enemy, they join a group of heroes like them, using the erotic power of the Exeros Force to fight off monsters. Now, is there any person who has just heard that synopsis for the first time and thought to themselves, yeah, that totally doesn't sound like the plot to a hentai? Because, goddamn, man, I mean, listen, I enjoy this manga a lot. It is still currently serializing, and I believe currently there is 9 volumes out right now. Of course, I have all of them on my shelf back there. But Jesus Christ, man, this shit, like, I can't read in public whatsoever. I need to, like, read this with the door closed, curtains shut, just me and the manga. Like, that is the only way I can get any enjoyment out of this, because otherwise I feel dirty. And look, it says shonen on the tags here, but it ain't shonen, fam. I think they may be confusing it as a shonen because it's in Shonen Jump Plus, but Jump Plus is not shonen. It is like seinen shit. If it was shonen, it would have just stayed on Shonen Jump. But the fact that it is on Shonen Jump Plus, which is aimed for a little higher demographic than Shonen Jump, this shit should technically be categorized as a seinen and not a shonen, because this shit is too early for any shonen to read. So yeah, I'm actually baffled that this is getting an anime adaptation, and I gotta check it out because I want to see how much censoring is going to be in these episodes, because I just think there's going to be an absolute butt-fuck ton of censoring that is going to be happening. And if there isn't, then congratulations to the anime industry. You've officially fucking horny on main, bro. Alright, but let's switch the mood and check out this next one, Decadence. It is an action-adventure sci-fi. Oh, see, this looks like some just wholesome shit, right? Like, when I look at this, I'm imagining like an Erica 7 quality, like action adventure wholesomeness. Unfortunately, though, it is done by the worst named studio in existence, but it is an original by Studio Nut. This is straight out of the nut. But anyway, let's read the synopsis. Many years have passed since humanity was driven to the brink of extinction by the sudden emergence of the unknown life forms Gadol. Those humans that survived now dwell in a 3,000-meter high mobile fortress, Decadence, built to protect themselves from the Gadol threat. Denizens of Decadence fall into 2 categories: Gears, warriors who fight the Gadol daily, and Tankers, those without the skills to fight. One day, Natsume, a tanker girl who dreams of becoming a gear, meets Surely Kaburagi, an armor repairman of Decadence. This chance meeting between the seemingly 2 opposites, the girl with a positive attitude who never gives up on her dreams, and the realist who has given up on his, will eventually shape the future course of this world. Okay, look, all nut jokes aside, this actually does sound pretty lit. You've set up the plot really nicely. Now, it's all about the execution, Studio Nut. As your namesake, you gotta give me the visuals, you gotta give me the storytelling, you gotta give me the characters, and just make me nut from that. Like, if you can do that for me, man, hey, I'll never make fun of your studio name again. So, I'm definitely gonna check this one out. It might be something a little more interesting and wholesome. Alright, up next is Great Pretender. Ooh, it's a Wit Studio series. Okay, Netflix Japan will premiere episodes in batches prior to regular broadcasting. Hey, that means I get to watch it before any of you motherfuckers. But again, this is another original series, an action-adventure comedy. Okay, let's read the synopsis. Masato Edamura is supposedly Japan's greatest swindler. Together with his partner Kudo, they tried to trick a Frenchman in Asakusa, but unexpectedly get tricked instead. Okay, the Frenchman, whom they tried to swindle, turns out to be Laurent Theory, a much higher level confidence man. What the fuck title is that? In control of the mafias. Edamura is yet to find out what fate awaits him after having engaged in the Frenchman's dirty jobs. Okay, this seems like definitely a lot more of like a kind of a more of a light-hearted, I guess, like psychological series, you know, the kind of mind games. I'm talking like, you know, Liar Game, Kurosagi, you know, Gadol, like those kinds of like a lot more like mind gamey type of series, which I fucking love, by the way. And I'm digging the art style as well, honestly. Like, it's kind of like a rough type of... It kind of gives me some, like, gangster vibes when it comes to the animation and the art style. So I'm gonna dig it. I think I'm gonna quite dig this one. All right, up next is Gibeot. Ooh, see, man, this is what I live for. When you just go through this list of all this anime and you finally stumble upon that one tag, that one genre. And for me, man, the shit that makes me nut is the horror genre. I don't care how much people say that the horror, like, you can't do horror in anime. That's not the point. Of course you can do horror in anime. It's about how well you can do it and how much you can put a twist on it. And listen, man, I'm fucking digging this art style already. Let's just read the synopsis and see if I'll actually end up liking it. In 2030, Japan, a virus has infected humans throughout the world. Infected people turn into different forms of monsters based on their age, sex, and race. The virus is named Gibeah, after being rich in variety like Gibeah. Okay, I don't know what that means, but I'll take your word for it. Just then, a pair of samurai and ninja appeared in such a blighted wasteland of Japan. They both travel from the early Edo period, fighting together with help from a doctor who tries to find cure for Gibeah. Facing ceaseless attacks from Gibeahs and outlaws that attack travelers for food, they start the dangerous journey with enemies all around. Ooh, okay. So we're getting like a little bit of, you know, I mean, how very fitting with the current situation that the world is in right now. So, like, an outbreak thing has happened, a bunch of people from the Edo period have come to the modern day Japan and are basically trying to figure their shit out. They're basically just like trying to survive, giving me a little bit of a Drifters vibe, which is a manga and an anime that I absolutely fucking love. Like, Hirano's art style is just godly. And I mean, Launchbox, I assume this is how you pronounce your studio name. I mean, you've sold me on this promotional art. This looks fucking sick. Like, it's definitely giving me some Ninja Scroll vibes, but like a more modern twist on Ninja Scroll. So if it is as like bloody and gory as like Ninja Scroll is, dude, I'm gonna fucking love this series. Okay, up next is Assault Lily Bouquet. Hey, Shaft Studios. It's always good to see Shaft Studios back at it. It is a magic military sci-fi. Ooh, okay. It's a mixed media project. Oh, so what, is it like a game? Is it like a visual novel? What is it? I don't know. Let's read the synopsis though. On Earth in the near future, humanity faced imminent destruction from mysterious giant creatures known as Huge. Wow, you really went to the first thing you could think of, huh? It's like, oh, what are we gonna call that huge thing? Huge. The entire world unites against the Huge and successfully develops weaponry known as Charm, counter Huge arms, okay, by combining science and magic. Charm exhibits high rates of synchronization with teenage girls. How convenient. And the girls who use Charm are viewed as heroes called lilies. Throughout the world, garden military academies are established to train lilies to face the Huge and to serve as bases to protect and guide people. This is a story about fighting girls who aim to become lilies at one such garden. Okay, it's basically just like a high school girl kawaii version of Evangelion. It's basically what I'm getting at. Instead of the Huge, we have the Angels. Instead of the Charms, we have the Avas. And I mean, you know what? It just sounds like your typical magical girl with a little bit of military thrown into it. I mean, you know, Shaft is no stranger to doing those kinds of series. I mean, look at Madoka Magica. They fucking killed it with that. So if it's going to be anything like that, I think this is going to be pretty interesting. Okay, up next is an anime series that I'm probably the most looking forward to, but for quite unconventional reasons. Ikebukuro Westgate Park. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of you who have never fucking heard of this series, and I don't blame you, because as it says here, it is a novel. And when it says novel, I'm not talking about a light novel. I'm talking about like a straight up regular ass, normie ass Japanese novel. And now the reason why I am very excited to see this anime adaptation is because it is done by one of my favorite Japanese authors, and this is a Japanese author that I really grew up reading and is the big reason why I got into Japanese literature at all. Well, there's mainly two Japanese authors that I heavily gone into. One of them is Higashino Keigo, who is known as like the Steven Spielberg when it comes to crime drama novels. I know that's a weird way of saying it, but that's how he was actually described as in Japanese media. Yeah, I don't get it either. But the other one, who is the author of Ikebukuro Westgate Park, is an author by the name of Ishida Ida. Now, Ishida Ida is only really known in Japan. Is very, very well-known author in Japan, and Ikebukuro Westgate Park is probably Ishida Ida's most well-known novel series. I'm pretty sure it got turned into either a movie or a TV series. I don't remember which one it was, but I watched the live-action adaptation of it. Obviously, love the novel. I love everything Ishida Ida makes, and the live-action adaptation was also fantastic as well. But it kind of blows my mind to see that this is going to become an anime adaptation, because I don't think there's been an anime adaptation of like a mainstream, not only a mainstream, but a highly, highly well-known and successful Japanese author's work getting turned into an anime. Like, that fucking blows my mind. But if you guys no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, let's read the synopsis. The mystery novel series is set in Tokyo's Ikebukuro ward, in the eponymous Ikebukuro Nishiguchi Koen, known by locals as Ikebukuro Westgate Park, the place's English name. The story centers on Makoto Majima, the son of a local fruit vendor and known as the troubleshooter of Ikebukuro. He helps everyone from his friends to local street toughs in solving various incidents. Now, that synopsis did not do this story justice, trust me, my boys, because Jesus Christ, this series is so good. The novels are so good. Even seeing that title has made me want to go back and reread the novels because, oh my god, it's so good. But I really fucking hope, I pray to Japanese Jesus that they kill this adaptation. But I'm definitely gonna check this shit out. God damn, dude, I'm so excited. Alright, and last but not least, let's cover this adorable little series right here, Ochikobore Fruto Tato. It is a music seinen slice of life by Feel Studios. Okay, that's a good combination, alright? Seinen slice of life with Feel Studios, you know that's going to be pretty freaking good. It's based off a Yonkowa manga, so a 4-panel manga, the adaptations can vary from being really good to really bad, but let's read the synopsis because I have no idea what this is about. Fourth dormitory of the Rat Production. Not a very good name, alright, commonly known as Nezumiso, the place where dropout idol girls live. The former child actor Seki Noroko, musician Nukui Hayu, and model Maehara Nina. Sakura Ino, who always dreamed of becoming an idol, moves in. At the same time, the decision is made to demolish the dormitory. Wow, you got something against this girl, bruh? Due to the project launched by the manager Kajino Hoho, Ochikobore Fruit Tart occupants of the dormitory form a new idol group called Fruit Tart and start their activities in order to repay a 100 million yen debt, which is about $1 million in US dollars. Jesus Christ. Okay, well, I mean, I was kind of excited when I heard the music side of things, but then now I'm hearing that it's just gonna be a fucking slice of life idol series. You know, me personally, I'm not into the whole idols thing, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I know there's probably a lot of Love Live and Idolmaster fans watching this who are just fucking wishing death upon me at this point, but I think those series are fucking boring. So I'm probably not gonna end up liking this series whatsoever just because I can't stand the idol culture shit, man. I mean, I was kind of looking forward to it too because these girls are like really cute. I mean, this pink-haired girl right here reminds me of that chick from Eurocamp, just without the hat, right? So you never know. I'm gonna check this out either way. It might be great, who the fuck knows, but I'm not being too wishful on it just because it is idol based. But yeah, guys, that's gonna about do it for this episode of What Will I Be Watching for the summer 2020 anime season. Let me know your thoughts about any of the things that I said. What are the shows that I will be watching, the shows that I won't be watching, and hey, also let me know in the comments below about what shows you're going to be watching and the shows you won't be watching. Also let me know about any series that I should check out that I missed on this particular page, which as always I will leave the link to down in the description below. Shout out to livechart.me for always providing us with the sauce. And again, guys, if you'd like to hear my thoughts on any of the delayed stuff like ReZero Season 2, Sword Art Online Alicization Part 2, all of those, then again, make sure to go check out the previous What Will I Be Watching, which as always is down in the description below. But yeah, compared to the first couple of seasons, this one's looking a little more promising. I don't know, the first couple of seasons, like winter and spring, were like super mid. There was nothing coming out in both of those seasons where I was like genuinely excited. Maybe like 1 or 2 series that I was like genuinely excited for. But this one has a little more of an interesting batch of series. Also, have you noticed the lack of isekais this season? I'd just like to point that out. I don't want to be that guy who's always harping on about how, oh, there's so much fucking isekai, death to isekai, but man, this is, I think, the first season this year where I didn't really see a single isekai series. Or there might have been a few, but they were more modeled around fantasy, right? So, you know, this might be the first in a very, very long time that we're not gonna get a fucking isekai topping the charts. Of course, you know, not counting Sword Art Online Alicization, you know what I mean, right? There isn't like a new series that everyone is talking about that is just another fucking generic ass isekai. So, yeah, I have a good feeling about this one because, man, 2020 anime has really started off quite shakedly. So hopefully this summer 2020 anime season will provide us with some pretty unique and interesting series that we can talk about for a little bit longer. But again, guys, I appreciate you guys for watching until the very end, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Like and favorite if you enjoyed, subscribe for more anime banter, and keep watching anime. Johnny!